Boom! What's up, everybody? Coach Rahz here from fitnessbusinessmastery.com, coming to you with another expert interview here, and I'm excited for this one. We have Stefanie Novak from Queens, New York. Stefanie, how the hell are you doing today?
I'm awesome. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to have this opportunity to connect with you. We spent some time a few weeks back out in sunny California, where it is not sunny today here in New York. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd agree.
I wish we were back in California. But the point of this interview is really, I wanted to bring you to the Fitness Business Mastery stage, really to share a little bit of your background, what's going on, what you're doing with your online business, and just we keep it real, raw, and relevant here. So I'm going to ask you some hard-hitting questions, really just so that we can actually dig into your business so that some people can extract some nuggets of gold during the next 20 to 30 minutes. Is that okay?
Awesome.
Fantastic. For those who don't know you, why don't you share a little bit about your backstory and just how you got into the fitness industry, and bring us up to right where you are right today.
Well, I started off actually in high school as a dancer at the High School of Performing Arts, which is also known as the Fame School, if anybody ever saw the movie. Went to college, decided to go for the highest paying job in college, which was group fitness instructor. Did that, and I was kind of kicking some ass with it. So decided that I didn't want to do anything with my degree, which my degree was basically watching movies. It was nothing. And do group fitness full time. So graduated from college, did group fitness 24 hours a week in New York City, and I was burnt. I was in the worst shape of my life, extremely unhappy, and exhausted. Even though you're working out 24 hours a week, because you have such little time in between each class, because each class is at a different location, you're just getting to whatever you can to eat, not the best choices, and running around all day long, not resting well. It was just a mess. So I decided then I'm going to become a personal trainer part-time and a group fitness instructor part-time. And I worked at Equinox just like you did. Was there for a year. I was the best trainer in my tier. I got promoted halfway through. I was always hitting that like weekly bonus goal.
Yep.
Until financial crisis happened.
Yep.
And almost 85% of my clients came back to me and told me that they could no longer afford me. So I went from having 16 clients to, I want to say, 2 or 3. And I knew I had to make a change. And I wasn't happy there anyway. I didn't like the fact that my clients were paying $125 and I was taking home $22 to $26, depending on whether I hit my numbers or not.
Right.
So walked into my boss, just said I quit. Every client that I had that week, I said, how about I come to your house and I train you, and I'll charge you half of what you pay Equinox. So not everybody agreed to do it, but a bunch of them did, and I just started from there. I did my own personal training business for the past, this is going to age me, 11 years.
Whatever. You look amazing. Age is just a number.
Yes, exactly. And then I decided to do small group personal training. That way I'm not really trading time for dollars. I outsourced got my entire staff set up, and I was just really managing the entire thing. And then my business came to a halt when the gym shut down that I was renting from and just closed its doors and told me they weren't sure when they were going to reopen them. So I was forced to go online and build an online business. That was over a year ago, and that's where I am today. Awesome.
Well, we have that Equinox, New York City stuff in play. I know that I was part of that craziness. I was out there hustling just like you. I want to talk a little bit about that before we transition into the online, because a lot of people that may be watching this may still be at the big box gyms, and they don't know. I mean, I started a New York sports club, $7 an hour working the floor, and then and that was hard. And they would only give me a 4-hour shift. So I had to stay an additional 4 hours and just train people for free, just so that I could actually speed up the process, because I would have never been able to eat in New York. We're in one of the most competitive areas in the world when it comes to fitness. What would you tell someone who may be still in the big box gym and thinking about making that leap and leaving?
You should have made it yesterday. You're never going to feel fully ready or fully prepared to do it, ever, in your entire life. So if you're waiting for certain things to happen, like A, B, and C need to happen for me to leave, guess what? Something's not going to happen. B, C, or A is going to get messed up, and it's not going to go through. You just need to take a giant leap of faith and go, and just trust that things will fall into place, and this is exactly what's supposed to happen for you. You will have bumps and hills, and I honestly cried every single day from when I quit to a month later. Every single day on my house crying, not sure how I would make rent. Somehow it will happen. As long as you have that hustle, that grind, and you know your purpose, you'll be fine.
Absolutely. I'm a big believer in, having purpose, making sure you have a mission, a vision of where you're going with your life. And when you started out training, what was the driving force for you? Was it you wanted to make income? Was it to help people? What was that driving force?
In fitness, when it came to group fitness instruction, it was just my love for dance, and it felt like I was dancing. Mm-hmm. When it came to personal training, at first it was a love of money. I'm completely honest. I loved how I was getting paid. Then I loved being paid with the books. I loved the money. Mm-hmm. And knowing that at 22, I was making way more than all my other fellow, alums from my college. I was like, and I'm not even doing my degree. This is awesome.
Right.
Everything flipped though when kind of life got turned upside down, and I realized that no matter how much money in the world I make from this, it cannot buy my happiness. And until I fall in love with the career and with what I do, I won't feel fulfilled by it. So then I started like a real love relationship for what I do, and now it literally excites me to get out of bed in the morning and see what clients have texted me, what goals we've hit today, and it's become my purpose. Like I love transforming women's lives who are super busy and never thought they had the time or the resources to do it. Perfect.
So you just said you love transforming women's lives. So it's obvious that you've developed a specific niche. What advice would you tell someone who's watching this about that? Because I know when I got started, if you had a heartbeat and you were breathing, I could train you. And that's really what it was. It was about making rent and being able to have money on the weekend to go out and party and have a good time. And in New York, you need to make a lot of money to have a good time. What do you say about going in? Because a lot of people are like, when they get started, I got a certification. I want to train athletes. I want to train Mr. and Mrs. Jones. How did you develop your niche?
So I figured out, and by the way, my niche was different for in-person clients versus who I train online. So it can change for you depending on what path you take. But what I figured out was who I had the most fun training with. So who did it not feel like work? Who was I excited to go to? And who did I hate training with? Like on the drive there, I'd be like, oh, I wish we hit traffic so I have a reason to cancel. So I figured that out with my perfect avatar for in-person. When I went online, it wound up being differently. The relationship that you have with online clients is very different from in-person. So who is it easiest or most fun to work with online for me was high-level executives, CEOs, females in the workplace. Mm-hmm. I just love their drive. If I wasn't an entrepreneur, I'd probably be them. And I just felt like they had the heart and the dedication and the will, and they also had the resources most of the time to do it. So they just didn't want to figure out the X, Y, and Z for themselves, and I was ready to do that. So I loved that. If you're trying to figure it out for you, figure out which person that you work with now doesn't feel like work, or which two people, and how are they similar, and that's your perfect client.
Beautiful. I love that. I mean, that's one of the things that I do with my Kaizen group right away is that I find out, do you like working with them? First question. Can you get them a result? Have you gotten that result for that type of client? And then can they pay? Because it's crucial that conglomerate of questions align. Otherwise, I mean, like I know a lot of trainers, I got my CSCS. I want to work with athletes. Well, most athletes are broke. And if you want to make a living and create a business, then you need to find the population that can pay you for your services and pay you what you're worth. Let's talk a little bit about paying you what you're worth. Because, I mean, someone might be watching this and they're in Idaho, Ohio, California. We're in New York. We know that in New York and in the bigger, markets, the price range charging can be varied. How did you come up with your pricing structure so that you knew what you were getting, what was worth what you wanted to charge?
So I figured it out based on value. Like how much, and it really, for me, my price point was based on how much contact I have with my clients. Because they're not buying P90X, downloading a meal plan online, paying $200 for it, and then just going off and doing it. And nobody cares or checks on them and even gives a shit whether they complete it or not. I'm complete opposite. I'm on your ass. I'm texting you probably every 2 days, checking in. I'm checking your food log. We're getting on the phone once a week. I'm checking to see that you completed your workouts. I'm sending you your custom plan. So because of all of that, and because it's really customized for them based on their time, space, and equipment or lack thereof, I decided that it was an over $1,000 product. When I first started out, though, I wasn't as confident, and I started at $997, which I felt that when I started to add more value to it, learn more, and kind of hit the bumps that I needed to, I could charge more for it because the product got better and I got better at what I did. And now as I continue to grow with continuing education, going to business masterminds, seminars, things like that, every time I come home, I typically bump it up a tiny bit.
I love it. And here's the thing that you said there. Once a lot of trainers get in the game and they automatically say, you know what, Stefanie's charging over $1,000. I'm going to charge that. You're not fucking worth that. You know, like you haven't developed into that level yet. So you have to develop into that level where then you can charge what you're worth. You can get the result that you're worth. And then people are going to pay you what you're worth. Wouldn't you agree?
Exactly.
I love it. So let's talk about that. So now you're full-time online trainer. It's something that's really sexy right now in the market. People want to do it. I'm going to come out and straight out ask you, is it easy?
No. It looks so easy from the outside. It is so not easy. But if you love it, it kind of feels worth it no matter what. Yes. So no, because a lot of the time with my clients, they can text me whenever they want. And yes, sometimes I'll wake up to 5 texts and somebody's freaking out because they saw a crazy number on the scale and I have to address it right away. Mm-hmm. Or I had clients, of course, who just didn't do the program, no matter how many times I called and, sent messages, encouraging things, did accountability check-ins. I had a few who just completely fell off track and just made up excuses and stuff like that. I'll tell you, it doesn't happen as often with online as it did in person with clients falling off track. But it still happens. So it's, drama in that aspect. But 95%, and it's not hard. I mean, it's not easy doing the work. If you look at my calendar for tonight, Wednesday night are my check-in calls. I go from East Coast to West Coast, like all night long. So I start at 7 with 15-minute chats, and I don't end until 10, straight through.
Love it.
So today's my most difficult day, but tomorrow's a really light day, and typically Fridays I just don't work at all. So it's not that hard. It's not easy at all, but it's also not that hard.
Love it. So I love talking about, the lifestyle fitness business, and it's creating a business that is profitable and that you really love doing. And it's obvious that you've kind of created that. Can you just tell us a little bit about what is we're going to talk about how you attract your clients, what you do to convert them, and then the delivery. But what is the mechanism that you're using right now to attract your ideal client? And say marketing, are you doing a lot of paid traffic? Are you doing organic? What is it?
I'm doing no paid marketing right now. I'll likely switch over soon since we're coming out of busy season. But my organic was working really well for a while, so I just kept on running with it. I love Facebook. I have 5,000 friends on there. To me, it's like a 5,000 person email list that I get to see every single day. Mm-hmm. So I typically get my clients from that. I run 7-day challenges. I also do my own email marketing. I join all these random groups on Facebook with women who do like 90-day challenges run by somebody who has no idea what they're doing. And then I'll likely friend a whole bunch of them so that they start seeing my Facebook posts, they'll start commenting, and then I'll start engaging in conversation from there. And I also work well. I have referrals that have been coming in lately. That works really well. And my re-signs have been also, knock on wood, amazing lately as well. So it's been not paid since, I want to say last time I got an application come in was maybe November.
Okay. So that's great, because you can see that a lot of people think automatically when I get online, my biggest stumbling block is that I don't have money to market. And what you're saying is you don't need money, you just need hustle, you need a little smarts, and you got to be willing to put in a little effort in order to attract those clients, correct?
Exactly.
Cool. Now I know just because we're friends and you run an amazing it's a 7-day challenge, and a lot of people feel like, oh, I could just copy Stefanie's 7-day challenge. It's super easy. It's only 7 days of work. Can you just give us a little bit? And I don't want you to share the goods because I don't want anyone ripping your shit off. But tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do that.
I love 7-day challenges because it gets people really motivated, and I find that the engagement in the 7-day challenge is super high. Short-term commitments are easy for almost everybody. Me too. I hate long-term commitments. So when I get on the phone and I'm pitching a 12-week program, some people get scared. I get it. I would too. But 7 days is nothing to people.
Right.
So, and especially if it's free, what are you losing? So it's not 7 days of work, even though it's a 7-day challenge. It's probably 3.5 to 4 weeks of work for a 7-day challenge. Mm-hmm. And I start marketing the challenge 2 weeks before we start via Facebook videos, posts, getting people to sign up, send me their email address, putting them in the private group, things like that. Once we start the challenge, that's where I'm in the group page every day, posting videos, having people post pictures of their food, sweaty selfies after workouts, get an accountability partner, things like that, all week long. And then at the end of the week or toward the middle, I start to say what the call to action is, whether it's jump on a free 30-minute transformation call with me, or you'll get, if you watch my webinar, you're going to get a free 4-week meal plan or whatever. And somehow, whatever my call to action is at that time that I decide on, which it's been different the past like 3 challenges I did. From there, then I sign them into usually one of my programs. And I don't sign everybody. I mean, one of my most fun challenges I think I had 105 women in there. And wow. From there, it was awesome. It was so cool. But from there, I signed 22 women to monthly membership and 2 to high ticket. Okay. And for 3 weeks of 0 ads, 0 paid, nothing. I mean, that's so worth it to me. And now down the line, I still have the monthly membership, and a bunch of those clients are still in there.
Cool.
And I typically run these every 3 to 4 months, depending on how busy I currently am.
I love it. I love it. So if you guys are watching that, you got to have a marketing calendar, because you got to know when you want to run these, and you don't want to overdo them because then they become kind of worn out, right?
Exactly.
Cool. So like you have your challenges, you have 2 different programs. It sounds like you have a kind of a membership model, and then you have your high ticket. And the membership model is basically, is it an EFT kind of like a monthly program or?
Yeah, it's a monthly program where they get 5 workouts a week. They're in a private community on Facebook, and they have their own 8-week meal plan.
Beautiful. Now you said that as you have a couple of different ways to convert them from your 7-day challenge. You could do a webinar, you could do a strategy call. Tell me a little bit about that. Is this a webinar? Is it pre-recorded and you kind of just push it out, or you go live?
I went live. I started to talk on it. So the challenge, I always start the challenge on a Monday, just because it's the beginning of the work week, school week, everything. Women love starting on Monday, fresh start Monday. So by Wednesday, I'm talking to them about the webinar over the weekend. And that if they tune in live to my Sunday night webinar, typically I pick Sunday night. It's not going to be when like the Real Housewives are on though. It's going to be right before that, so I know they'll be available. So I'll tell them Sunday night, and it's only going to be 30 minutes, and we're going to talk about, and I pick something that would really interest them. And I want to say what was my last one? What carbs? Oh, if you're trying to, the biggest fitness myths about the biggest weight loss myths about carbs, something like that. Something about carbs and weight loss, which my ladies love their carbs. So it was a big hit for them. And if they tuned in live, they got a free meal plan. So every day I'm talking to them about it. Whatever video I had of motivation that morning, don't forget Sunday night, 8 o'clock, we're going to be talking about how you're going to lose weight and still eat carbs despite the 3 myths that are out there. Make sure you tune in so you get your meal plan. Sunday night, we do the webinar. I follow what am I saying?
Russell Brunson.
Russell Brunson. I call him Richard Brunson all the time. I follow his formula for the perfect webinar. I had papers on the wall behind me. I'm ripping off the myths. I'm getting super excited about it. And it's 15, 20 minutes into the call to action. So if this is what you think is going to work for you, which obviously in the webinar, there's still a ton more questions to be answered. Right now, for the first 5 people only, always say 5 or less, you want to create scarcity, I'm going to give 30-minute free transformation calls. Don't comment in the box below. Go to my inbox, because then I'll be able to really tell who answered me first. So right now in the corner of your screen, make sure you press to message me now and say, I want a call. From there tonight, we'll get your phone number, book you tomorrow for a phone call, and then we'll figure this all out for you. And then I'm booked the entire next day with what I would call transformation calls, or anybody else could take it as like an application coming in. Then all day long the next day, which is why this is more than like a 3-week process, you're on phone calls with these people, seeing what their goals are, if they're a match for either any of your programs, and then selling them in. You also want to go back to your group page and make another offer to them who didn't get to see the webinar or even didn't get to see the recap of it. So then I go back to them and I make them another offer. For me, it was to go into my membership site at a higher rate than women who signed up the night before. I still got people in that way. And then Tuesday, hey guys, I'm closing out the group. This page will no longer be available. If you need to reach out to me, this is how you do it. And then people get scared again. Oh my God, the page is shutting down. I can't see the meal plan anymore. I can't see pictures of the food. And then you'll get a few more people to reach out as well. To be honest, I never shut down the group page. I always say that I will shut it down, but I've never shut it down before, because sometimes I still go in there and reach back out to individual women who had commented then, said their goals. And a few months later, I'll send them a Facebook message. Hey, remember in July, you said you wanted to lose 20 pounds by October. How's it going so far? I just wanted to see.
Beautiful.
So it's a great source that I could always pick from.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. I mean, you guys, that was right there alone. I mean, I can tell you that, here's some things I want to take away from that. You're working. You're getting your hands dirty. You have to follow up. It's a process. And 2, you got to bring energy. I mean, I love your energy. I think it's great. And I think that's the secret sauce to going online. I think a lot of people think they could be an introvert, and being an introvert as a personal trainer one-on-one, you could get away with that. One-on-one, seeing people, hey, how are you? Monotone. That shit doesn't fly online. You got to have a bigger than life personality. And that's obvious what you're doing there. I mean, I love it. You're doing the live webinars, you're pulling shit off, you're keeping it real. And you've also, how to get your conversions to where you want them. See, that's the key to sales in general. Let's talk a little bit about that transformation call that you do. A lot of people want to know, what does that look like? So if you were to get someone on the phone, how long is it? What's the information that you're trying to extract? And then how do you get them to the point where they're going to give you a credit card? Because that's usually a stumbling block for a lot of new trainers and people who are going online. In person, it's you slide an application over and you let the application do the talking. When you're online, how do you convert them?
So I did it differently before, and what I do now I find is more successful for me. I used to do just one phone call, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour, and in the phone call is me basically getting their entire application and doing the pitch. I find that right now it just doesn't work as well, and I like to build more rapport with the client, so I do 2 phone calls. My first phone call I call quality call. It's only 15 minutes long, maybe 20 minutes max, and I'm really kind of getting a feel for their personality. They talk 90 to 95% of the time. I'm really not saying much. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking them what their goals are, what they've tried, what they haven't tried, what they think their biggest challenge is, anything along those lines. Typically, even just those 4 or 5 questions is going to get them talking forever. And I'll also ask them what they ate yesterday, things like that. Then if I like them first, and then if I decide that I think they'd be a good fit for my program, we go into the next phone call, which is strategy call. The way that I pitch the second call to them goes a little bit like this. So this is a good nugget. I said, okay, awesome, great. This information is perfect. I think this is exactly what I need. So what I like to do from here is kind of like if you went to the doctor and got a prescription for what was going on with you. I like to write you a prescription for what you need to do to get to your goals based on what is going on today and all the factors around you. I just ask that you give me 24 hours to put this together. So would it be cool if we jumped on a phone call the same time tomorrow and I could deliver this to you? That's it.
Boom.
Yeah,
That
course.
is
We're not talking about time. We're not talking about, it's literally the same time the next day.
Mm-hmm.
We get on the phone call the next day, and that's where I dig deep. So I say, okay, I totally forgot to ask you a few questions. So is it all right if we just take a few minutes and I just ask a little bit more? Of course, they say yes. And then I'll dive deeper in. How do you feel when you get dressed in the morning and you look at yourself in the mirror? Are you currently intimate? Is the way you feel about your body stopping you from being intimate? How do you feel when you run around after your kids? Are you going to social events with confidence? Do you feel like your weight is holding you back? Things like that. Where would your life be 12 weeks from now if you reached your goal? And, paint that picture. And then is the awesome. Well, I have a program in mind that I think would be a great fit for you. Is it okay if I share it with you? I want them to say yes.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I have an awesome program. It is called X, Y, and Z, and this is what it is. And then I go into my basic sales pitch, what my program is and how it would help them. When I have in the past, which I've totally done this wrong a bunch of times, I've just said the features of the program, not what it's going to do for them. But as I got better at doing this, I start to paint the picture for them with the program. So when I make you your customized workouts, no matter whether you're traveling like you do all the time or you're home, it doesn't matter. All I need to know is if the hotel gym has dumbbells or not, and I'll make the workout just for you. Or when you're out at your restaurant, you have your client dinner, just send me a text with the name of the restaurant that you're at. I'm going to send you back a picture of the menu. It's going to be scribbled all over it, but you're going to know what to choose from, and I'll give you good choices. I'm not going to make you eat like a rabbit or a bird and choose only salads. We're going to choose real food. Nobody at the table will even know that you're trying to eat better. And then the accountability. You and I know you could fall off track at any time. You could go to Weight Watchers. They don't care if you come back the next day. You could buy P90X and Tony Horton isn't going to call you up. I will. I care about you, and I want you to be a success story for me. Does that sound like something that's good for you? Or that would work for you? And then I say, does the program sound to you? Sounds great. Awesome. Do you think that you would get results with it? Yeah. Awesome. Does it sound like something that you could commit to for 12 weeks? Definitely. Great. Do you want me to share the investment with you? Yes. Tell them what the investment is, and then go stone cold silent.
Love it. Love it.
And wait for the deal with the objections. I need to talk to my husband. That's one. I don't know if I have the money for it right now. I have to check my account. That's another one. That's typically all I get. Because my program is versatile. The I'm going on vacation soon doesn't impact me. When it comes to the husband, I tell them, well, awesome. Listen, I know you sound super motivated, and I really want to roll with this while your motivation juices are flowing, because you know how easy it is to fall off track with that. So why don't we just get you started today? Take a few days, maybe 2 or 3 days, go to your husband, tell him about it, ask him how he feels about it. And if you come back to me and tell me he hates it, he's going to beat me, it's over, I'm going to give you back your money 100%. But that way we could get you started today and kind of get it going. Is that okay? He'll say yes, because 3 days, no strings attached, I'll give it back to you. Every time I've done that, the husband's never come back and said that. Or is I can't afford it right now. I go 2 ways with this. I go either one way, if I really believe them that they can't afford it right now, is okay, well, is there any aspect of the program that you think you don't need that we can eliminate to bring the cost down? That's what I offer. Or, okay, totally understandable. If you need time, when they say they need time to go into their bank account, look at whatever, awesome, totally understand. What I want to do is get you started today, though. So why don't we just do a $100 deposit on the program, and you could go check your bank account tonight, and tomorrow you come back and you say, it's not going to work, I'll give you back your $100 and we won't go forward. Or if you'd like, we could break this into payments and work it out for your budget. Go from there. And then if they still say they can't afford it, it's really that they're not a good fit for the program, or I didn't sell them properly.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it's obvious that you dialed that part in. You know your marketing, and right now you're rocking with the organic. You know how to convert your leads that you're getting from organic so that you can actually maximize your income and your impact. And then you deliver. You shared a lot about how you deliver. It's definitely a high-end program because you're delivering custom meal plans, workouts on the go. You're very adaptable. this is why you're successful and this is what made you successful. You've gathered that information. But it's obvious that you didn't just wake up and be like, I'm awesome today. What, like, is some of this you had to acquire through investing in yourself. Let's talk a little bit about that. What were some of the first steps you took? And knowing your background a little bit, I know, but I want you to share with our viewers. What were some of the, like, going online? Did you get any certain certifications? Did you hire coaches? What did that look like for you?
I didn't get any extra certifications. I think that a lot of certifications out there are bullshit and a waste of money. I'm not for certifications at all. I'm a little bit against them, but that's just me because I've gotten a bunch in the past and I really barely learned anything from them. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, I hired 2 business coaches, both at the same time. And to be honest, neither of them even knew that they were both working with me at the same time. But they both individually helped me in different ways. One really helped me more with my product and creating value, and the other one really helped me more with organic marketing. Gotcha. So that in combination together made it perfect, and that's what built me up to where I am today. Without those coaches, I 100% know I would never be where I am today. I would be back in a big box gym likely, back, training dollars for hours and being miserable and wiping down gym seats with I would.
Definitely. I totally get that too. I mean, I'm a big proponent of buying speed, making sure that if there's something I don't know, I'm going to go. And this is a philosophy I've learned from Tony Robbins, which was if you want to learn anything, go to someone who's actually doing it and has done it and can prove that they've done it, proof of concept. Where, a lot of people say, oh, I'm an online super guru and I can teach you how to go online. But yet you try to find them online, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and they have like 2 followers. Or they have nothing going on. You can tell everything's coming from their hip. So you got to make sure to do your due diligence and find people who are working for you. It can work and get you to where you want. Truly believe that. I mean, for my business, I hired a lot of coaches. I fired a lot of coaches. But over that time, it allowed me to actually buy speed and condense the mistakes so that I don't make them over and over, and I can avoid the ones I didn't need to make. So I think that's really important. You're doing something pretty cool now. I mean, you're going to kind of transition your business. You kind of lately had some awesomeness in your life where you're able to transition out of relationships and things like that. Why don't you share with what you're going to be doing over the next year, 2018, on your calendar, traveling and all that fun stuff?
So I've decided that this year I'm going to reinvest in myself every single month. So most of the time it'll likely be going to business masterminds or events, which I've done in the past, but typically I only went twice a year to things. Now I really want to go every single month. I also plan to likely hire another business coach who I was on the phone with yesterday. But I also want to figure out if I want to be a digital nomad. And if nobody knows what a digital nomad is, it is someone who does not have a home and they work via their computer. And they travel from place to place and just enjoy the different cultures. And I had a few friends who've done it in the past and loved it, and a lot of them continue to do it. But it really means condensing on what you own, leaving what you call a home, leaving a relationship, and pursuing what fulfills you. And I'm tempted to see if I want to do that. I might just do it for a little while, but deciding if I want to do that this year. In the meantime, up until then, every single month, it has to be something that I purchase that's going to reinvest in me and my business.
I love it. I think that's so crucial. I mean, this year for me, I'm also traveling. This weekend I'll be in Florida. Next week I'll be in Vegas. Then I'll be back in Chicago. So it's something that I think that successful people do, is that they realize that, knowledge is definitely power, but you got to take and apply that knowledge and turn it into an opportunity for yourself. But you also got to get out there and connect. Proximity. It's why you and I are friends. It's why AJ, one of our close friends, you have to be around people who think like you and are taking action on their goals and dreams. Otherwise, if you hang out with traditional people, they're going to pull you down. Would you agree?
Yes. You have to, sorry, but cut the apron strings. Come on.
For sure. So I want to kind of land this plane. You've given some really great nuggets about, how you can go from being a big box gym trainer, instructor, to an online superstar like yourself. But what are a couple tips that you would say for someone, because I know they're watching this because they want to go online, clients want to either add another asset to their offline business, or they want to be fully online. What are 1 or 2 tips you would say for someone getting started? What do they need to know?
Hustle. No, you're not going to get anywhere if you don't work your butt off. And I mean, even though you're online and you're working from home, which sounds super cool, a lot of the time it really means you're hustling your ass off at the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I was still getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning and really going till 7, 8 o'clock at night, hustling just to get it started, to get familiar with the apps that I was going to use, that my clients were going to use, get them to be really on board with this. Work your butt off is number 1. Number 2 is know the ins and outs of your product and your pitch. I could pitch over and over and over a million times now and feel so confident. When I first started doing it, I was like, and the price of the program is $9.97. It was so bad. I still can't believe anybody bought from me when I talk like that. I was so nervous. So get confident in it and speak like you are it. Maybe you're not an online trainer yet. You don't have a client, or you only have 1 client or 2 clients. Act like you have a full client book of 15.
Yes.
Act like it. Talk
Mindset.
about it. Exactly. Talk about it like that. Perform all day long like you have a full client book.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Those are my 2. But hustle is the hardest. Hustle your ass off.
You know, I truly believe in that. I mean, I think a lot of people think that being a business owner is easy. Oh, I want that title, the significance. I own my own business. It is fucking scary times when you got to make rent, when you got to pay lights. Like, I have 2 personal training studios, a virtual studio, 6 trainers. Sometimes I'm like, shit, I got to make payroll. Payroll is a lot. I just got hit with a payroll taxes last week that, if I tell you, that's some people's mortgage plus their car payment and their salary. And it sucks, but you just got to be willing to go out and get the damn thing done. Let's talk a little bit about, give me 1 or 2 apps that you use that you would like to share that has actually helped grow your business and actually help you deliver your service.
So I use MyFitnessPal for my clients to log their food.
Okay.
And then a lot of people don't know that if you friend your client through MyFitnessPal, you could see their diary. I don't know how people don't know that, but that way they're not messaging me their daily diet. I'm just logging in myself and going in whenever I want. Mm-hmm. I also use Trainerize.
Okay.
And that's how I deliver my custom program for them. I know there are others out there. I was just first introduced to Trainerize, and just like my clients, I don't want to switch. And I've never had a point where I don't have clients that it would be a good time to switch. I'd rather keep them on the same platform all 12 weeks.
Absolutely.
And those are the 2 apps that I stick to. I also like Delayed, which is a text messaging app that you can schedule text messages to go to people.
That's cool.
I feel like down the line we'll have it in Apple where you could schedule a text message, but right now we don't, so I like Delayed.
Cool. 3 awesome apps there. And let's just talk really quickly about content. What does your content schedule look like weekly? Are you posting selfies all over the place and food pictures all over Instagram, or you are specific and strategic with your content?
So typically Mondays and Tuesdays are dedicated to client programming and making sure that they've gotten back on track beginning of the week. Wednesdays in the evening is all client check-in, and usually sometimes I write an email. Depends. I'm always posting. It's not selfies. I'm not a big selfie queen, and the only selfie I really do is a sweaty selfie. It's not sexy at all. It's not cute or attractive. It's just like, I worked out. Hey. Mm-hmm. But if I'm posting on, when I'm posting on social media, it's either something funny about going to the gym or workout or summer body, or it's a question like, if you could take a magic pill tonight that would help you lose weight, how much less would you weigh tomorrow morning? Or anything that's going to get engagement going.
Yes.
My next one that I have coming up is, do you think people are overweight because they don't love themselves enough? Yes or no? Which I know is going to spark drama. That's the whole point of it, is to get opinions and have people react really strongly, and then have people share that, yes, like, they're overweight and this is how they feel about that. Because there come my leads.
Yes.
On Thursday, every Thursday I do a live video. If it's not live, sometimes I don't do it live. If it's like 5 o'clock in the morning, I don't. I found that lately with Facebook's algorithm, whether I go live or not go live, I still get the same amount of views. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but it's always every Thursday. And then every Friday morning, they're getting an email from me about something, what a call to action to do over the weekend.
Awesome. Awesome. I love that. And one of the things I just want to expand on, I mean, I do it as well with the engaging questions. What it really helps you guys do on Facebook is that when you get a lot of comments, likes, shares, then when you post your call to actions, your videos, Facebook actually pushes those out a little bit more because you're relevant to a market and you're not just someone just posting bullshit. So it's really, that's a great tip that Stefanie just gave you guys there. Stefanie, I really want to thank you for your time today. It's been really amazing. I love the information and the authenticity that you bring to what you do in your business. It's why you're successful, consistently growing as a person, as a business owner. If someone wanted to reach out to you and kind of just connect with you, what is the best platform to do that?
I love Facebook. So find me on Facebook. It's obviously facebook.com/Stefanie with an F, Stefanie .Novak, Novak. If you actually search me, Stefanie Novak, I'm probably the only one who you can friend because there's not a lot of us who spell our names like this. So make sure the F is in there. And that is the best way to reach me. I'm also on Instagram, but everything's connected. Once you find me on Facebook, you'll find my other platforms.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. This has been a great interview. I'm Coach Rahz from FitnessBusinessMastery.com. This has been another expert interview series with Stefanie Novak. We'll see you in the next one. Make it a great day. Go out there and make a huge impact in your business. Boom.